Yes, I know. The roguelite genre can be less challenging than the roguelike, but that doesn't mean that there are no stellar titles within this group. Games can range from fun-filled innocent adventures to dark journeys that take you to the depths of the earth. You're encouraged to take risks that might reward you with many permanent unlocks, which will let you have an easier time later on. There's such diversity in weapons, items, skills, and powers you can find in these games. Welcome to HotFix Gaming. I'm Joy. Here are some of the most fun and best roguelites out there. Number 10. Brotato. Brotato is a bullet heaven roguelite where you fight against waves of enemies using a variety of weapons and characters. Similar to other one-stick shooters, at first, Brotato's gameplay loop may seem incredibly simplistic, maybe even detrimentally so. But just below the surface is a shockingly deep game that's surprisingly fun to play. That is, if you can get over the fact that the character you're playing looks more like an egg than a potato. There are tons of different characters and weapons to try, and with each run you'll have a different goal in mind for your next unlock. Brotato's simple controls and easy-to-understand mechanics make this game great for beginners and all fans of roguelites alike. Number 9. Spelunky 2. Spelunky 2, despite its cute cartoon aesthetic, can manage to both infuriate and delight you. Its predecessor is considered to be indie royalty, yet the sequel effortlessly one-ups it in every possible way by providing an incredible number of gameplay possibilities. Yes, you still need to traverse a series of hazard-filled, procedurally generated caverns in search of treasure, but its iterative nature allows developer Mossmouth to refine the Spelunky formula to near perfection. What makes Spelunky 2 special and worthwhile is how flexible its systems are. It can sometimes feel like no two runs are the same, and you'll continue to make wonderful discoveries even after you've put dozens of hours into this game. Number 8. Army of Ruin. Just like Brotato, Army of Ruin is different in the way that it's harder and it involves more grind, but it's still a game that is absolutely worth playing. The whole concept behind this title is not necessarily to kill as many enemies as possible, but rather to accumulate as many resources as possible, then spend those resources on upgrades. If you don't do that, at some point you're bound to end up battling bullet sponges. There are also trinkets that you can use throughout levels, and if you choose carefully, those trinkets can help upgrade your weapons. Basically, if you give enough thought to your choices and actions, you can survive and defeat the bosses. Number 7. Sky Rogue. There's something about this game's aesthetic that screams 90s arcade, as well as a strong Sega vibe present in almost every aspect of its visuals. Sky Rogue combines these classic arcade influences with a procedurally generated roguelite gameplay loop to create an experience that, while not too deep, feels endlessly replayable. In a nutshell, this title is an arcade 3D flight sim. Upon starting the campaign, you'll have a moment to load up your aircraft of choice for the mission ahead, randomly generated each time. At the start, the only options are a basic assortment of weapons, but each run, whether successful or otherwise, accrues credits to put towards new weapons and planes. The game's simple design and replayable gameplay loop are perfect for those looking for a quick pick-up-and-play session. Number 6. Nightmare Reaper. Nightmare Reaper is what you'd get if you combined Minecraft with Doom and sprinkled it with the ashes of a roguelite. Nightmare Reaper is a retro-styled FPS in which you play an unnamed patient of a psychiatric ward, where, by day, you're cooped up in a little cell filled with scrawlings on the walls and mysterious notes that detail ominous experiments. Lay yourself down in bed at night, and that's your ticket to Nightmareville, filled with raging demons and M1 Garens and buckets of blood. There are no nice dreams here, only procedurally generated journeys into a hellscape that gets tougher the more often you go to bed. Number 5. Roboquest. Roboquest is an absolute blast to play, and I mean that in the most literal sense. Its fast-paced FPS combat and roguelike elements blend together into a beautiful barrage of bullets and bashes that'll get your blood flowing the moment you boot it up. If you're up for some robotic carnage and aren't one to shy away from a gunfight, then Roboquest is the rock'em sock'em robot experience for you. The game manages to masterfully merge the best aspects of its inspiration, Doom, with the infinite replayability, metagame progression, and synergistic run modifiers of a classic roguelike. However, its FPS aspects are the ones that turn it into a roguelite. But despite that, there's no denying that this game puts many true roguelikes to shame with its charming art direction and robust gameplay. Number 4. Returnal. Returnal is a sci-fi title in which you play as Celine, an astronaut who's crash-landed on a shape-shifting world. The game is packed to the brim with creepy crawlies and vicious monsters, and Celine must do anything she can to survive, including blasting every threat into a million pieces using her arsenal of weapons. Is it tough? Yeah, I mean, that does depend on your experience with roguelites, but it does follow the general rule of the genre where players start over from the beginning with modest improvements to their core abilities, sprinkled with an assortment of temporary buffs and features that last until your next failure. Probably the most notable aspect of the game is the Hyperion boss fight. Across Reddit and other social media websites, players tout it as the best boss fight they've had in a very long time. Both from a visual and musical perspective, this one battle is the selling point for many gamers, so definitely make sure to check it out. Number 3. Vampire Survivors. Okay, you can't make a video about roguelites and not mention Vampire Survivors. This award-winning game is the one you have to try. In a similar manner to Brotato and Army of Ruin, you must defeat hordes of enemies while collecting new guns and items to progress through each area and wave to survive the night. There are many levels, tons of achievements, and many unlockable Vampire Survivors characters, but weirdly, no vampires. At least not yet. The indie game became an instant hit and receives regular updates, including several paid-for DLC packs. But if you're just starting out, don't worry. There are plenty of Vampire Survivor builds and weapon evolutions online to help you navigate your first few runs. Number 2. The Binding of Isaac. Developer Edmund Macmillan's The Binding of Isaac reinvigorated the roguelite genre when it arrived on the scene almost a decade ago now. Plenty of flashier, more modern roguelite games have come along since then, but there's just still nothing quite like it. It remains unflinching in its depiction of Isaac's dire situation. In fact, the game sits comfortably in the realm of horror as you cry your way through its repellent world and encounter Isaac's many demons, including his own mother. Ultimately, its enduring popularity is a testament to both its elegant design and singular personality. While The Binding of Isaac Repentance may be the final update, it adds many new enemies, rooms, secret bosses, and even support for up to 4 players in local co-op. It's no wonder it managed to accrue 60,000 concurrent players on Steam alone in its opening weekend, though it is also available on the Epic Games Store, so that number's actually likely a little bit higher. Number 1. Hades. The first Hades game from Supergiant casts you as Zagreus, son of Hades and prince of the underworld, as he does everything he can to escape from hell itself. It's an isometric hack and slash where the combat is ferocious and the enemies are plentiful. By tying together its procedural runs with a compelling plot and a likable cast of characters with great voice acting, Hades highlights the narrative potential of the genre's cyclical nature. Each failed attempt results in you being resurrected in your home, the House of Hades, where your old pals and family members await their latest chat with you. Getting to know a bit more about them after every run makes death less disheartening, and when you're out in the field, you'll have the chance to meet and receive experimental upgrades from your Olympian relatives. These bickering deities are perhaps the real stars of the show, and their wonderful artwork and fully voiced dialogue help bring them to life. It's easily one of the best story games in the genre, and a darn fine roguelite to play. I have nearly 100 hours in this game already. Do you play roguelites? Let us know your favorite game in this genre in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video and want more, be sure to check out the 2 videos we've linked on screen.